problems, we just need to solve them. We don't need to create more problems. We don't need to create more widgets. We need to basically solve problems so we can live on this planet in harmony with everything. We're destroying all life on Earth. So where is the intelligence there?
Not so much. Wondering where all that comes from, but I know that the media has a big part to play in it. And then some kind of avoidance, like an agenda to actually keep people from becoming aware or educated of the facts that are taking place in medicine, in ecology, economy, and all the industries, you know? And so we are just, I think, being misled, basically, and deceived. And I think, and that's not, I don't think that's anything new. I think the king was deceiving the peasants and the emperor was deceiving the kings, and deception has been part of the dark side. Bringing everything to light is the answer for people like us who are educators. And I think what ends up happening is that you come back to concepts and principles that are so simple that after a lifetime of complication, people can't even believe it. And the truth is so simple. You know, like the highest, most absolute truth is simplicity that even transcends, you know, any kind of manifestation at all. And that's when you're talking about going back to the truest spiritual sense. I think that's the answer there. And if we can rise up and stay connected to the highest, and that kind of harmonizes the mind almost instantly, and then the mind can make good decisions on how to care for the physical frame and how to understand the laws of cause and effect. So if you are deceptive, you know, or greedy, you can see how those things are going to actually work against you, even though in the short term, you might think you're making some gains. But the wisdom will show you that, you know, greed, deception, jealousy, anger, those types of things are eventually just going to, well, instantaneously, it's like instant karma is going to get you, you know, instantaneously, those thoughts have a negative effect on the energy field. So at this time, you know, I'm teaching still nutrition, but really once you get tapped into the highest that you're capable of, then the rest of the system becomes harmonized. And I think that's one of the reasons why you're able to be so healthy and sharp at your age, when I'm pretty sure most of the people that you know that are your age are on a few drugs, limping around, have dementia, Alzheimer's, can't remember their last name or where they put their keys. Am I right?
Yeah, so it's not like when you forget where you put your keys. Alzheimer means when you don't know what your keys are for. So that's really what we're there. You know, society has reached that level of Alzheimer's, and none of that really is necessary. So for me, I'm 76. I have a company that I basically, an anti-cancer. I have all natural products at Morrocco Method. But basically what I'm looking at is our health is our wealth. So when we come to realize really what's going on here, like you talked about the truth, well, I basically have come to understand that the truth is the truth and there's no other truth. So that's what we're saying earlier in this conversation, is that we have to look at facts. The facts are really what is reality. But it's not what I like, what I don't like. It's not my opinion. And you brought about the media. Everyone's now talking about the media. And when this, you know, I'm 76, so these things didn't exist when I was in my 40s. They didn't exist at all. But now I'm coming to understand, like everybody else, that transparency is why this exists. This exists because we are so overpopulated. When I was basically back in the 1970s, there was a book by Rudolf Steiner called Life on a Small Planet. And he basically said in 1976 that nature could not. He didn't say it wouldn't. He said nature, and he scientifically proved it, could not support 6 billion people. So today we're over 8 billion, which is shocking. But it's even more shocking when I come to see the fact that the American footprint equals 5 people in Asia, for example. So we're 300 million, so you times that by 5. So we're 1.5 billion on the footprint of planet Earth, which is now 9.5 billion. Then if you go to Europe, let's say their footprint is 3 times. So I say we're clearly using more than 10 billion people on this planet today, where nature cannot maintain or sustain more than 6 billion. So what does that mean? It means that we're not using common sense. We have all these professors, all these scientists, all these, whatever you want to call them, intelligent people that are not making the bullseye. We're shooting here and there, but we're missing the mark, and things are getting out of control. So for me at 76, I'm an example, and I tell everybody I have no drugs, no medications, no supplements, no doctors, and no pain. 76, no pain. And of course, for me, that's a normal life. But everyone that comes to me, they're in their 20s, their 40s, their 60s, they have all kind of pains. They're on all kind of medications. Well, we have to maintain ourselves, first of all. If we're going to maintain the planet Earth, we have to start with ourselves and end with ourselves. And the truth is the truth, and there's no other truth. So when you point your finger at anybody or anything, what's this? This is the thumb pointing back at us, right? So there's health, wealth, happiness, time, and divine. The thumb represents mystery and magic. No one ever has and never will understand the creation of the universe. We can do this and do that. We can fly to the moon or the Mars, but that's never going to get us into the understanding of the whole creation. So when we do this, baby, we have to come back to ourself. That's what it's saying. Always come back to yourself. Our health is our wealth. And that's why I admire the work that you're doing, Dan. And you're still doing this at the highest levels. And you're talking about not only food that we eat, but the impressions that we receive. That's food. The feelings that we're getting in, that's food. The relationships that we're having, the business situations that are going on. These are all elements of food. So when we start realizing that we're taking in and eating all this stuff, like I do hair care, for example. So I teach everyone that when you put shampoo or conditioner or styling products or bleach or dye or whatever you're doing into your dental care, your skin care, your hair care, that we're ingesting 70%. So when you put face cream on, you're taking in 70% is going into your bloodstream, and it's going to settle down into the organs. So that's why I've created Morrocco Method International. So it's 100% botanical. It's all plant-based. So when people are using, read your ingredients, for God's sake. You talk about being responsible. There's where the responsibility lies. Is you really want to start checking out, well, what am I eating? What's the ingredients on these products that I'm putting on? Oh, it's only going on my skin. It's only going to go on my hair. I'm going to wash it out. No, you're ingesting 70%. This is food. So that's where our responsibility lies. Mind, body. And what you're talking about, Dan, is the higher mind, the higher consciousness, the spiritual, if you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. But it's the truth, there's the truth, and there's no other truth. So when you start getting clear, which you are, you start getting balanced, which you've achieved, and you're teaching this to all of your audience, and more people are coming because you're an example. You walk your walk and you talk your talk. People are going to start going, oh, all right, so I don't understand, but let me listen to Dan, the man, and let me find out how I can start taking in real impressions, healthy impressions. So we need to basically take care of planet Earth. That's what we're doing here. Why are we here? What are we doing here? And what's going to happen when we leave? These are the 3 biggest questions for me that are more important than everything.
Oh, thanks, Anthony. That was epic. So, man, I had like a million questions pop up, and then I just went blank.
All right, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to go into like what I'm doing at Morrocco Method. So for example, this is our old packaging, and this is plastic. I'm not really sure what kind of plastic it is, but the thing to do is we need to have one kind of plastic. So there's like, I don't know, I'm not sure. There's like 36 or 46 different types of plastics. So for us to maintain the planet, we need to have one plastic, only one type of plastic, where we say everyone only can use PET 36. And then if we did that, then all the plastic on planet Earth would get recycled at PET 36. And we wouldn't have to have 46 and 12 and 18 and 4. So in the meantime, we have to like create laws that say you only can use one type of plastic that can be recycled, because people can't separate this and recycle it. It's not possible. That's a fact. The other thing is we're moving into compostable packaging. So this is the old packaging, and I've called up the manufacturers and I demanded that they produce compostable envelopes, for example. So when we put powder into our packaging, all of our powders, all of our products, so by demanding, you just simply go to whoever your vendors are, and we're the consumers, for God's sakes, we pay them. They've come up with this. So this is 100% compostable. It's not biodegradable, which is nonsense. It's going to take 2 to 5 years for biodegradable to sort of break down. Where this is paper. And what you do with this, the whole thing, everything, you just take the whole thing, throw it into the earth, and in 5 to 7 days, it's soil. That's compostable. And we're doing the same thing. So I've created a shampoo bar. So this is literally a bar, and the whole packaging is compostable, 100%. And now we've created a conditioner bar, citrus silk conditioner, and this is 100% compostable. So there's no more plastic. We're slowly, leading the example of what it takes and what it will take for the planet to heal itself. But wherever you are, whatever you're doing, right, Dan? Wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we basically have to, like I'm in hair care. Morrocco Method International is over 50 years old. And I'm still doing my passion because I'm anti-cancer. That's right. I'm anti all this destruction. I've been like that forever. So the new compostable packaging is very exciting. Throw it in the soil, you get soil back. This is what's going to happen to us. When I'm done, like everybody else, we're going to get put back into the earth and recycle the physical part of nature. So this is the most important part of what's going on. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, take into consideration, use this, which was given to us for a reason. Thought is only there to solve problems. It's not there for any other reason. Unfortunately, we're using thought for everything, which is causing a lot of problems. But if we use thought just to solve problems, and when we didn't have a problem, we can let it rest. We can let this rest, which it needs silence, it needs space, it needs its own meditative space, so we can not have stress. We're stressing ourselves. We're doing terrible things to humanity. We're doing terrible things to nature and the planet. We're, I say, easily over 10 billion people. So that's a problem that we need to solve. And we need to use common sense. The same thing like plastic. All we have to do is just say, look, everyone demand from our vendors that they use one type of PET plastic that can be recycled. And here at Morrocco Method, we're basically demanding from our vendors compostable packaging, and they're creating it and coming up with it. So the truth is the truth, and there's no other truth.